For today's episode, we are going to talk about the Marzano's strategies. So, there are 9 Marzano strategies that was developed by the researchers at Mid-Continent Research for Education and Learning. So, these 9 instructional strategies are most likely to improve students' achievement across all content areas and across grade levels. So, what research say about them is that they're gonna help your students and the teachers to become better in pretty much every way that they can when they are gonna, let's say, study or they're gonna teach or any other ways that it can be educational. So in this case, we are gonna discuss through a series of videos the 9 strategies. Okay, but just to give you an introduction, we actually have 9 strategies in total. So the first one would have to be the identifying similarities and differences, the summarizing and note taking, the reinforcing effort and providing recognition, homework and practice, non linguistic representations, cooperative learning, setting objectives and providing feedback, generating and testing hypotheses, and questions, cues, and advanced organizers. So, 9 videos in total. Um, if a student or a teacher will apply this learning and teaching strategies, definitely there will be improvement both in teaching and understanding. Okay, so it's not just one way that the student will become a better student, it's also one way for the students or the teachers, I mean, to become better in how they present whatever they have to present. Okay, so in this episode, we are gonna talk primarily about the similarities and differences. Basically, we will be doing the Venn diagrams, which is important in comparison. We will also do classification, classifying, analogy, and metaphor. So these 4 are the foundation in enhancing the similarities and differences. Okay, so if a student or a teacher know how to present similarities and differences in an efficient manner, then it will be easier for the student to absorb everything that the teacher will teach him or her, right? And so these strategies can be useful in more efficient learning. So we will begin now with comparing. In this case, we will be using the Venn diagram. So when is this useful? Um, this is useful if we want to differentiate and compare the similarities of 2 or 3 um, objects, subjects. Okay, so in this case, we have A. So we're gonna write all the traits and characteristics of A here inside the circle. And then we have the other subject, which is B. And we're also gonna be doing the same thing, writing the characteristics and traits of the second one. Now, there's an overlapping area. This overlapping area is what we call the union, wherein whatever that is similar to both of them, we have to write in the middle. So this is the purpose of Venn diagram. Okay, so just to give you a very, very basic example, I'll show you this one. Okay, so in this case, we have 3 animals. We have the dogs, we have the humans, and the lizards. Okay, so as you notice, the part for the dogs that is not overlapping with any other circles is the trait that only the dog has. So in this case, dogs are covered with fur. Only dogs are covered with fur, right? So that's why it's here. For humans, they can run for president and they have 2 legs. And for the lizards, they are reptiles and they have scales, right? Now, if you notice, there's an overlapping area for dogs and lizards, and that is they have 4 legs because only those two have four legs. For humans and lizards, we have they can be found in learning NC offices. Learn NC offices. Okay, so basically they can be found in, let's say, in science classrooms or anywhere as a way to for experimentation. That's the similar thing about them. For dogs and humans, they are both mammals. That's why that's the overlapping part area. Now, the middle part is where everyone overlaps. Okay, in this case, they are all animals, and they eat many bugs because humans eat bugs also, right? So, if you notice, um, it's very easy for us to present which parts are similar with which animal, and we can also demonstrate things that they don't share with other animals, as well as all of them share. So if you need to present or compare two or more, probably two or three, then Venn diagram is the best for you. Now we will move on to classifying. Okay, so the definition of classifying is the process of grouping together things that are similar in some ways. Okay, and what it does, it helps us become organized. All right. So if you need to compare things that are more than probably two or three, then classification is good. One example is the classification of animals. So in this case, if you're gonna think about it, there are millions of species of animals, right? And so if we're gonna classify them, or if you're gonna list them based on two things only, then it's gonna be hard to differentiate and find similarities. And so science created the classification of animals, wherein they first divided them by their backbone, which are the invertebrates and the vertebrates. And then from there, they also added a few more separation, such as mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fish. So we are familiar with this. And this is not only useful in classifying animals, it can be useful in classifying data information. Okay, so if you need to demonstrate, let's say, colors, you can help the student to classify which colors are hot or which colors are cool, and so on. Okay, another that we can use to differentiate and to see the similarities would have to be analogy. Okay, so analogy is actually comparing two things that are similar in order to better understand a term or an idea. We have probably taken a test in the past wherein we have to find the analogy. For example, a boy is to um, blue and a girl is to blank, and then most of the time we answer pink. But of course, this is not relevant anymore. But in the past, yeah, that's how we associate color to person. Um, let's say fish is to water and bird is to blank, and then we will have to choose air as the answer because they fly. So analogy is in a way that you compare many things, two things or four things, by associating them with one another. So here are types of analogies. We have part to whole, we have battery to flashlight, hard drive to computer. So we're talking about the parts that's inside. Cause and effect, fatigue, yawning, and so itching is for scratching, right? So if you're tired, then you yawn. So if you're itching, then you scratch. Mother is to home, teacher is to school. So here we say that mom works at home, and then teacher works in school. You know, and by doing this, it's better for a student to understand what they what they have to understand, because they can associate the words to something that they already know, something that is simple, right? The last one for similarities and differences would have to be metaphor. Okay, so from the word metapherein, it means to carry over or to transfer. As we know, simile, metaphor, as it is a figure of speech. Okay, what it does is it describes an object or action in a way that it's not literally true. Okay, but what it does to us is to help us understand an idea by the comparison it makes. So, for example, the assignment was a breeze. So, when we say the assignment was a breeze, it's not that the assignment is air, but it means that it's easy. But we are saying that it is air, but it's not literally. So, that's what it means. I'll show you more examples. So, it says here time is an endless roller coaster ride. It stops for no one. So we all know that time is just time. It's not a roller coaster or a ride for this matter, but um, it's comparing the, it's comparing time to the roller coaster ride because both of them stops for no one. They just go. See, so it doesn't just do a very good comparison, but it also does a very interesting um, structure wherein if you read it you feel that it's very deep. Another example, the teacher's carnivorous pen devoured the student essays and belched up the occasional bloodstained comment. This is well written. We are comparing the teacher's pen into a monster, and that when it writes the comment, it is bloody, meaning it's harsh. See, um, by doing so, we have written a very wonderful and very interesting comparison of how the teacher writes and what it's written. So those things are what we can use when we do similarities and differences. And you can also do the same for your students and when you're learning. Um, Next time we will be learning some other strategies, but for now, I hope you can apply similarities and differences to your classes. So thank you so much for watching this video. And again, this is Edward. Bye.